First of all, I would like to give you some background information about Texas A&M University libraries. We serve a campus of over 70,000 customers from 14 colleges. University and the libraries were closed from March 24th to June 30th, 2020 due to COVID-19. But our branded document delivery and interlibrary loan service, Get It For Me, was never completely shut down. Staff worked remotely to fill requests from our electronic resources or outsourced from other libraries who were able to supply from their electronic collections. Our physical stacks were roped off during that period and required that our customers access and use the electronic copy in HardyTrust if available. On July 1st, 2020, we resumed book retrieval service requested via Get It For Me from our print collections and offered no contact pickup. On the first day of fall semester, August 19th of 2020, we restarted full resource sharing activities for both borrowing and lending. We saw an overall downward request trend from 2010 to 2020, especially since 2016. They were down in all 6 categories. To determine the impact of COVID-19, I compared the data from the fall of 2019 that was pre-COVID with the data from the fall of 2020 that was during the COVID, but we resumed regular resource sharing and in-house document delivery activities. The data reveals fewer loan requests across all 3 functions in the fall of 2020. Most notably, both borrowing loan requests and the lending loan requests were down by 48% and 47% respectively compared to the fall of 2019 numbers. For article requests, lending had a slight increase of 5% in the fall of 2020, while both borrowing article requests and in-house scanning requests were down by 26% and 38% respectively in the fall of 2020. Such large percentage drop in those 5 categories were not seen before. Graduate students were dominant users both before and during COVID-19, followed by undergraduate students and faculty members. Patrons from College of Liberal Arts were the top users of the service, followed by patrons from College of Engineering, and a distant third from College of Education. This order is not in sync with the top 3 colleges in terms of enrollment size, which is led by College of Engineering, College of Liberal Arts, and College of Agriculture and Life Science. In the fall semester of 2019, only 6% of the requests were ebook preferred. In the fall semester of 2020, 32% of the requests were ebook preferred. Ebook fill rate was still very low, only 18% in the fall semester of 2019, but it has been improved to 31% in the fall semester of 2020. Our participation in the HardyTrust Emergency Temporary Access Service from May 2020 to June 2021 has somewhat contributed to this improved fill rate. 20% of the ebook were accessible from HardyTrust ETAS program. We are still a long way from successfully getting our ebook loan filled from other libraries using ILLIA OCLC platform or via Occam's Reader. Most of the ebook requests that we were able to fill for our patrons were in fact purchased by TAMU libraries to honor their format preference. Borrowing article fill rate was very impressive, at 92% in the fall of 2019 and 98% in the fall of 2020. Borrowing loan fill rate was 85% in the fall of 2019, but down to 78% in the fall of 2020, due to many libraries still work remotely during the pandemic. Looking at our lending fill rate, we saw an improvement for loan fill rate from 55% in the fall 2019 to 60% in the fall 2020. But the decreased lending article fill rate from 68% in the fall of 2019 to 59% in the fall of 2020. The top 3 reasons we used the most to cancel borrowing loan requests were: this request was canceled by the customers, and we exhausted all possible resources. In the fall of 2020, the third most used reason was due to HardyTrust ETAS, we cannot circulate the print copy. With the latter canceled reason, patrons specified that they would only accept the print version. I further analyzed the loan requests that were canceled by the customers. I wanted to find out how many books had been shipped by the lenders after the requests were canceled by the patrons. It turned out the canceled after received rate was below 3% in both fall semesters, and was no correlation between customer cancel requests and not meeting their needed by date. The most prominent reason that we canceled our lending loan requests was because the requested items were in use. Looking at the lending article requests that we canceled, the number 1 reason was lacking volume. The second reason for cancellation was policy problem. The high percentage, close to 20% in both semesters, of cancellation citing policy problem prompted me to examine further for each policy problem canceled request. I found many were due to staff errors. Instead of looking deeper into our resources to find the requested document, some staff simply choose policy problem as a default cancellation reason. To better reflect the true reasons for cancellation, I recoded each policy problem canceled request and removed the policy problem as a reason for cancellation. That's why you do not see that reason in this chart. Instead, I included staff error in the figure as one of the remaining reasons for cancellation. I wanted to know how many of our requests were filled in Rapid and how many we had to request from OCLC, because our Rapid subscription fee was only 7% of what we paid OCLC. If my staff had tried everything via the Rapid first, the percentage of loan requests that could have been filled by Rapid R would have been increased to 65% for both fall semesters. For article requests, Rapid could have filled 79% of our fall 2019 requests and 75% of the fall 2020 requests. Data affirms that COVID-19 disrupted scholars and the students' research and the learning paths. This was manifested in the significant reduction of their request submission in the fall of 2020. Through this exercise, I recognized some training needs for our staff members. Some of them whose productivity was so impressive, they just focused on moving the requests forward. However, when they stumble on a difficult request, instead of seeking help, they pass it on to the next library. Realizing some training deficiency, I asked my lending supervisor to have a daily mini coaching session with some of the staff members. Instead of canceling the requests that they could not find right away, they now would go to the supervisor and work with the supervisor to figure it out together. Staff members are reminded to always try to have Rapid fill our borrowing request first. It is frustrating to realize that the cost of OCLC ILL service is 15 times the cost of Rapid, but less than half of our requests were filled by OCLC. It is not unreasonable to point out that OCLC's pricing model is not sustainable for some libraries. With a continued downward request trends, I gave up another position when a team member retired in March 2020. The unit's FTE staff members were at a peak of 13 in 2008, down to 9 now. And our student workers were also reduced from 18 to just 4. This local study also shows us we need to periodically use the data available to us to detect progress or decline, evaluate the need of training, as well as the assessment of staffing level, and to act accordingly. Thank you.